What's up, everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review. Today, from Star Wars The Black Series, we are looking at the Target exclusive Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant and 332nd Ahsoka Clone Trooper. The absolute avalanche of Black Series figures is continuing here with this wonderful Army Builder 2-pack, and I'm so excited to get some more 2023 Clone Troopers in hand. These new updated bodies are a really nice balance between articulation and aesthetic. And I also love to see that so many collectors have been able to get their hands on this set here in the States. Usually Target exclusives are a little difficult to come by, but it seems like everyone who's wanted this set has been able to get it, which is great because Army Builders should just be readily available, exclusive or not. So let's take a look at the package. This is in the window box Galaxy packaging style, still with the slant on it. You can see this is technically from the Ahsoka series, so it's got that real light blue. Now, of course, I did say Lieutenant here for the Phase 1 clone because obviously this is a grunt trooper. This is not the Lieutenant. The Lieutenant would have the corresponding blue dots across the chest, which it does not, so it is mislabeled. Not really that big of a deal, but I definitely wanted to point that out. Here is the mural on the side, both figures looking great there. Here on the back of the box, this set has no number, which is pretty interesting, and you can see here is the bio. If you want to go ahead, pause it, read it now. And on the bottom of the box here is that barcode for those who like that. So let's go ahead. We're not going to waste a whole lot of time here. We're going to get these figures open and take a look at their accessories first, and then the figures themselves. So first things first, we get two sets of clone blasters. So we get two sets of the DC-15, the shorter variant, and then the long one as well. All four of them are unpainted, and it is the same sculpt we've seen for a while now. Nothing too crazy, but it is to be expected with clone troopers. And we'll also look at the helmets since technically they are separate in the package. You can see the Phase 1 looking really nice here. Some really good paint app details. This is also a darker blue, more in line with the rest of the 501st figures, which is great news since, as we all know, that Apo figure from a few months back was a really light shade of blue. So I'm happy to see that they didn't continue that for the Ahsoka figures here. And the 332nd helmet is really nice as well. Looks very clean. I love the way these paint apps look. The white is super well done and prevalent, and even the silver in the mouth grill just looks so good. Really happy with the way both of these removable helmets turned out. And so now let's take a look at the figures. All right, and here they are out of the packaging, looking absolutely fantastic. We pretty much know what we're getting into with these figures. We have had a couple 2023 clones already in the line, so this review will definitely be more of an overview. If you want to see a real detailed breakdown of the differences between the 2023 Trooper and the 2020 clone, check out my review for Commander Apo. I break it down and go through all the different changes that these figures have. But yeah, as you can see, just standing here on the rotating base, they look fantastic. I love the updated 2023 Clone Trooper body. So many minor improvements that add up to make a major difference between these and the 2020 clones. So I'll definitely be doing some comparisons in this video to some of the older figures so you can really see just how different they are. But I am very happy with how these two figures turned out. Both of them have a little bit of the shiny face syndrome going on, but for these, I'm gonna let it slide because the helmets are going on and they are not coming off. But I do like that they're finally including the option to at least have the painted clone head underneath. Although I will still say, even with these figures, I personally think that we should switch to alternate heads that are helmeted and then have the alt head be unmasked as well. I think it just works so much better that way. The proportions work out a lot better, and then you don't have to worry about any potential warping that could happen, and I'm sure has happened with these sets, especially now since we're back into the plastic packaging. Cramming them in that plastic clamshell is always a recipe for some helmet warpage. Thankfully, these ones don't look too bad, at least to me. Maybe they are slightly warped, but I really don't think so. So let's just jump into it. We'll start out with the Phase 1 Grunt, kind of just do a quick brief rundown of how the figure looks, then we'll switch over to that wonderful 332nd. Starting things out with the head sculpt, it is the same one that we've been getting on all the 2023 bodies. We also just recently saw it on the purple 187th clone as well. So it is the flat top clone trooper design with the scarring on the face. And like I said, I really do like this head. These ones are definitely a little bit sweaty. You can see we'll have to hit that with some Mr. Super Clear. But it doesn't really bother me because, like I said, I'm just going to be putting the helmets on and I'm not going to really worry about it. We do have a nice darker shade of blue, although this figure and the 332nd commit the cardinal sin that bugs Justin and I, where we've got chips on the actual paint of the armor, but then there's no weathering anywhere else. It's just a clean trooper. And to us, that just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense as to why the paint would be so battle damaged, but the armor itself completely clean. Minor nitpick, but I always feel like I gotta say it. We do also get the 2 black lines painted on both of these figures, which is something the plain white variant does not have, so that's cool. You know, little extra couple hits of paint there never hurt anybody. But yeah, otherwise though, this is just the 2023 body, so it's got some of those really nice improvements to the shoulder pads, the chest overlay, the knee pads are no longer glued in, so you can put them wherever you'd like. And yeah, it's just a really nice looking figure. And even when you pop the helmet on, I think it looks really nice. The proportions look pretty even. We kind of get rid of that bobblehead look that a lot of the Phase 1 2020 troopers had, especially with these bigger shoulder pads. It just gives it a little bit more of a bulkier look, which is something that we were all asking for when we were getting those 2020 troopers. And now I personally think the star of this set is this updated 332nd trooper. We did have these guys back on the 2020 body, but they were Walmart exclusives, very hard to get. So it's always nice to see them come back around, give us an updated version. And like I said, so far here in the States, this set has been super easy to get. Seems like everyone that wants it has been able to grab it, unlike the original release of this trooper, which was pretty much impossible to find. You had to be very lucky. But yeah, the updated helmet looks fantastic. I think it's actually a massive upgrade. Here's a quick side-by-side of the 2 troopers. And I feel like it's not something that you notice immediately, especially when you don't have them side-by-side, but then you put them side-by-side, and oh boy, do the differences become very apparent. So yeah, I'm really liking this updated version. I think the orange looks a lot better. The bigger, thicker white lines make the aesthetic just pop that much more. And then the rest of the figure has the classic, 501st armor paint scheme, where we've got the paint on the chest. We do have the 2 little black lines. Like I said, this figure also suffers from the battle damaged paint, but clean armor. But again, not really that big of a deal. We have the blue lines running down the legs and on the knee pads there as well. And it just looks great. These are just 2 simple army builders that Hasbro knocked out of the park. I will say maybe the only thing I would have liked to see is a 3rd helmet, maybe a Phase 2 plain 501st helmet that you could have swapped out with this guy, especially since once we do some comparisons here, you'll see that Commander Oppo is just such a wrong shade of blue, and it's unfortunate that that is probably going to be the only 501st 2023 Army builder that we get. Hopefully that's not the case, but I don't know. I just don't know. So yeah, detail-wise, both of these figures just absolutely knocked it out of the park. So now we'll put them side by side and do a couple comparisons. We'll start things out here with the Walgreens exclusive 501st Phase 1 Lieutenant. And again, you can see the differences between the 2 here. If this was truly supposed to be the Lieutenant, he would have had the blue dots going across the chest. So Chris, you are no longer allowed to go on vacation. I'm sorry, buddy, but we need you here so that we can have these figures correctly named on the package. And then side by side again with the old 2020 version of the 332nd. And I think personally, this new 2-pack here smokes both of these other figures. Yeah, this kind of has more of a theatrical look to it, but the helmet is just way too small, so I definitely could not see a human head being underneath this particular head sculpt, whereas this new updated version actually looks like a guy in a suit of armor. Next up, we have the Clone Wars Season 7 Ahsoka. and the Target exclusive Commander Appo. And that's pretty much what I was talking about here. Just looking between the two, you could see that Kenobi Appo is just such a lighter blue. It doesn't match any of the other 501st Troopers really, whereas thankfully these two are going to match and look a lot better with the other clones on the shelf. And lastly, for the comparisons, we've got the original B1 Battle Droid and Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker. And so, of course, with all that being said, I think we've got another huge W on our hands here from Hasbro. This kind of set is what we've been asking for years at this point. We want more clones, we want more army builders, and it's great to finally see that they are giving it to us. And on that updated 2023 body, this set I feel like is a must-have for pretty much any Clone Trooper fan out there. These are definitely huge upgrades from the other figures that we have in the line, in my opinion. So yeah, I would say if you got them for 25 bucks, that's awesome. But even for the $45 price point that these go for in the States, easy pickup all day long. You gotta love a slight discount on some army builders, and thankfully they have been readily available, pretty easy to get. So yeah, I would not sleep on these if you're thinking about getting them. I just don't see them hitting the clearance aisle, so definitely get out there, get on the hunt. I believe they're still in stock on Target's website, at least at the time of this recording. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. A big shout out and special thank you to all of our current channel members. Your continued support is truly appreciated. And thank you to everyone else out there for watching. I'm Nate from Out of the Basement, and I will see you next time.